Welcome to How to Yu-Gi-Oh!
Summary: Fundamental Duellist Knowledge.
Chapter 1.
Okay then, so in this video I'm going to be talking about some things you might need to know in Yu-Gi-Oh! With that being said, let's get on with the rest of this video.
Chapter 2.
Okay, as you can see in front of you, I'll talk about a chain block negate. So, let's go to the several slides to explain a chain block negate. In the next slide, as you can see here, player 1 normal summons Prank Kid Roxy's. Then link summons into Prank Kid's Meow Mew. Chain link 1, the effect of Meow Mew. Chain link 2, Roxy's. So at this moment, a chain block has been conducted, which means that if player 2 wants to negate Roxy, cannot negate Meow Mew because they'll have to negate Roxy's first. This is an example of a chain block negate. So player 2 activates Ash, and as you can see on this slide here, chain 1, link 1 resolves, chain block successful. Chain link 2 negated by Ash. And that's about it. And that demonstration there showcases a chain block negate in Yu-Gi-Oh!
Chapter 4.
And on this slide, you can see chain effect clause once per chain. As we can go to the next slide, you can see here, Light and Darkness Dragon. So it has the effect, cannot be special summoned while face up on the field. This card is also a dark attribute. Once per chain, when a spell / trap card or monster effect is activated, quick effect, this card loses exactly 500 attack and defense, and that activation is negated. When this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, target one monster in your graveyard. If possible, destroy all cards you control, and special summon that monster if any. Great. So as you can see here with this card, it's once per chain, which means it has an infinite amount of negates as long as it has attack points.
That's too strong.
And it also has another ability that it can, if it's destroyed by battle or by card effect, it can target any monster, which includes itself, bring itself back, and you can repeat the process all over again.
That's really convenient.
Quite broken, quite fantastic, especially in the early days of Yu-Gi-Oh! This is one of the strongest Omni negates we had at the time. Obviously, it was the first Omni negate for the main deck, and the Mechaba being the first Omni negate we had for the extra deck. So those are some other fun facts. As we go to the next slide, we have Appaloosa here. This Appaloosa, let's go to its effect. You can only control one Appaloosa above the goddess. The original attack of this card becomes 800 times the number of link materials used for its link summon. Once per chain, as you can see there again, when your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you can make this card lose 800 attack, and if you do, negate the activation. And so, similar to the Light and Darkness Dragon, this, however, is not an Omni. This is just for monster effects. So if it's made with, 4 monsters, it'll have 3,200 attack, which will mean that it can negate a monster effects 4 times. Really quite strong, really quite powerful. And there's a reason why this card was banned last year in the TCG.
Facts.
Yeah, good riddance to Appaloosa above the goddess. So yeah, and that explains again once per chain and how it is resolving. And as we go to the next slide, we see Evil Swarm Exiton Knight. Once per chain, as you can see there again, during your main phase or your opponent's battle phase, if your opponent has a total or more cards in their hand and field than you do, quick effect, you can detach one material from this card, destroy all other cards on the field. Also, for the rest of this turn, your opponent takes no damage. So you can see here that you can use this effect whenever. And because it's a quick effect, you can use it either on your turn or on your opponent's turn. And you can do it up to twice per turn, as it's once per chain, as long as this card has materials. And if you have a way of giving this card materials in your opponent's turn, you can essentially have an infinite way of just this destruction. So, yeah. That's about it, really, when it comes to the once per chain clause. So let's go to the next slide.
Chapter 4.
And here you can see I'll be saying we can be spotting good, bad, and broken cards. And as you can go into the next slide, we can see here a good card. So this is a good card. For example, Fossil Day. It has a simple effect. Add one level 6 or lower dinosaur monster from your deck to your hand. So usually cards that search, a type or an attribute tend to be good cards.
We are a great team.
Have simple description and get the job done and get what you need. And so, as we go to the next slide, we can see broken cards. Now, broken cards are cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! That you can activate the effect an infinite amount of times, depending on the situation.
Madness! That's madness! Sheer madness!
As we can see here with Sky Striker Mobilize Engage, it says if you control the monsters in your main monster zone, add one Sky Striker card from your deck to your hand, except Sky Striker Mobilize Engage. Then if you have 3 or more spells in your graveyard, draw one card. You can already see Engage has no once per turn, which means it can be activated an infinite amount of times. And with the cards that you can see in front of you already, a loop can get going and it just goes completely out of control.
I've been caught in a deadly combo from which there's no escape!
You can see again with Sky Striker Mecha Hornet Drones, if you control 2 monsters in your main monster zone, special summon one Sky Striker Ace token. Warrior, Dark, level 1, attack 0 and defense 0 in defense position, which cannot be tributed. And if you have 3 or more spells in your graveyard, then this effect resolves. The token's attack and defense becomes 500, 1500 instead. As you can see, if you have a way to, if you have multiple drones, you can activate it multiple times and essentially just get multiple link fodder. Absolutely broken beyond belief. You can see here with Sky Striker Mobilize Engage, and it says yet again, if you control low monsters in your main monster zone, you cannot linkage, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of this turn after this card resolves, except Sky Striker Ace monsters. Also send one other card you control to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon one Sky Striker Ace monster from your extra deck to the extra monster zone. And if you have at least one light or dark Sky Striker Ace monster on the field or in your graveyard, the summoned monster gains 1000 attack. So essentially, this card is essentially an OTK for Sky Strikers, and it's not once per turn, as long as you meet those requirements, which is fairly easy in Sky Strikers. And this is an example of broken cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! All these cards, as you can see in front of you, especially the spells, have unlimited use in their archetype, and that's what it means to have a broken card in Yu-Gi-Oh! Card that has unlimited use, given its situation, can be activated an unlimited amount of times and essentially has no once per turn clause on them.
Why not save it again?
Whenever you don't see a once per turn clause on a card, this means that the card in Yu-Gi-Oh! 100% of the time is absolutely broken. No once per turn means it can be used an infinite amount of times, and that's just the way things are in Yu-Gi-Oh! And finally, let's go to the final slide for this, which is a bad card. A bad card is, as we can see, a Hypernova Burst. Hypernova Burst, let's read that effect. Banish one face down from your hand and or face up field 2 monsters that cannot be normal summoned. Draw 2 cards. You can only activate one Hypernova Burst per turn. So essentially, this is a bad card. First of all, you're banishing, a card on your side of the field or hand face down. This means you cannot retrieve this card, as face down cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! Cannot be accessed in any means. Well, there is a way to access them, which is, Omega, but even that, in generally speaking, there's generally no way to access face down cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! And even with the card I talked about, Omega again, Omega only puts a face down card into your graveyard. You still have no way to access it or to get it back. So essentially, this is why it is a bad card. You basically neg. You neg 1 to draw 2. It is absolutely pointless to have a pot of greed like this, as it doesn't do anything for you. While it could be argued you could put this in Kashtira, as it could, give the ability for Shangri-Ira, but again, there are better things you can be doing. This is a sort of card that's never gonna see play. Hence why it is a bad card. Bad cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! Are cards that simply have effects that are completely and utterly useless, and there would be other cards that you would play instead of this card. And that's it.
Chapter 5.
Well, as you can see in front of you, Versatility gives more options. And if you go to the next slide, you can see with Resonance Insect, when it is banished with Gold Sark, you can send Gokipole and search Danger Mothman, Traptrix Mantis, or Retaliating Sea. Or if Resonance Insect is on the field, it could leave the field and you could add either Humongous, the Sticky String Kaiju, or Beargrum, Shelled, Emperor of the Forest Crown. As you can see, you have loads of options because Resonance Insect is versatile. And you can see on the next slide, you can see Small World. Again, Small World gives you versatility because, yes, while it does banish a card face down, but this is a little bit different, as this gives you the power to just add any card from your deck to your hand. Extremely powerful and something that should be considered. As you can see with the arrows pointing there, you could add any type, attribute, level, attack, or defense. Given its effect, given its versatility, given how this card could be used in a myriad of ways and searching the key card that you need 90% of the time, there's nothing wrong with this card at all. And if we go into Infinite Impermanence, 1 can be used in any phase, 2 can also just be used as a normal trap. This is the king of versatility. Infinite Impermanence is a card that basically signifies how versatile card should be. You can use it in the hand, set it, and use it in the field. And on the field, it has extra abilities. This is the pivotal moment of how you see how a versatile card works in Yu-Gi-Oh! And definitely, when you want versatile cards in Yu-Gi-Oh!, Infinite Permanence should be the standard of how you see versatile cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! They should have these sort of effects, like Infinite Impermanence. And the general rule I always like to use is that if a card is similar to Infinite Impermanence in its effects and usage, then that is a good card. It is versatile, and I always want that sort of card in my deck. And that's about it.
Final chapter.
And here I am at the overall conclusion. Well, all I've got to say is that now we're at the end of the summary fundamental videos that talk about the things that you'll need to know in Yu-Gi-Oh! Hopefully, with those fundamental videos, you have a rough idea of what you'll need to know in Yu-Gi-Oh! And I've covered basically everything that you will essentially need in Yu-Gi-Oh! If there are other things you would like me to cover in this section, or there's other things that you feel that I haven't explained in Yu-Gi-Oh!, please mention it put it in the comments down below, and I'll see about making a video about that. With that being said, that'll be the end of this video. So hope to see you soon in a future video.